What is up YouTube, it's your boy Darren Boss and welcome back to another video. Today I bring you the second episode of Duel Analysis. Now, as you know, we're going over some duels, as well as getting some inside gameplay and play-by-play thoughts as how to become a better player overall in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. If you like this type of video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what more do you want to see on the channel. And yeah, stay tuned for more quality content. Hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to submit your clips for the community showcase. We actually do have a bonus clip submitted by one of the fellow community members, so I appreciate for the submissions. And remember, the link is in the description, so to find out more if you want to submit a clip, want to be featured in a future video, the link is down in the description and below. Otherwise, enjoy the video. As you can see, it's pretty much the same from the last video, but just to showcase to you guys, this is the decklist that I am using. As you can see, there's no major changes. If you want to find out more details, more insight as to how the deck works, then you can check my other streams, which I'll also leave in the link in the description down below. Other than that, let's get on to the duels for today. All right, so our first opponent for today is once again Labyrinth. So you guys saw in the last duel how Labyrinth pretty much works, where it's based on timing, and depending on where you're going first or going second, it's good to know how to interact with Labyrinth, because obviously they do rely on traps, which is obviously their main gimmick. But as you can see from this deck list here on the screen, you can see it's kind of a not standard build, as there are, you know, more spells than traps, which is quite interesting. You can see they're only playing one Clue Clock, but they're playing three Max C, 2 Ash, they're playing a Lava Golem in there, playing a lot of spells, so it's quite spell heavy, which is unusual for Labyrinth, because Labyrinth doesn't really play a lot of spells. So they're also running a bit of a Dogmatica package as well, with the 3 Nadir Servant, Dogmatica Ecclesia, and also the Entis, which obviously is a target for the Nadir Servant, so it's a pretty nice addition. And they're only running one Daruma Karma Cannon. I think this arguably is the better trap to run in Labyrinth, especially because obviously they rely on traps, so it also triggers their Lady, which can get their traps from the deck, so it can search it nicely by playing one of, which is a bit interesting. They're also playing part of Acquisitiveness, which is also a bit of a random selection, but hey, if it works, it works. But yeah, it's not a very popular choice. They're running Foolish Burial Goods, part of Extravagance. Even Foolish Burial, I think it's a lot of spells, which is a bit odd. And yeah, they're running the standard, obviously 2 Welcome, 3 Big Welcome, more Dogmatica again. I think the ratios are a bit too much. I think they could actually improve a bit, because I would actually drop Demise of the Land, part of Acquisitiveness, and I'll actually replace it with more Daruma Karma Cannon at least. Raigeki, I think 2 is a bit too much. I think 1's okay. If you're gonna at least run these, you should at least have Triple Tactics Thrust. But then again, Labyrinth doesn't really play spells, so it's very odd that they would actually go for that option. But hey, we're here now, so let's see how the duel went. All right, so this is the first matchup of today's video. We are showcasing to you Princess again, and we're facing Labyrinth again. So this is the second time showcasing a Labyrinth replay. I think it's important because it's good to showcase the same decks over and over, but obviously from different points of view, different styles of play, because not every time you play the same way, but more or less it's just to give you more valuable tips when you're facing Labyrinth or any other deck in general. And Labyrinth is one of the more tougher matchups because like I said, for them, timing is everything. So if they time everything well and they play their cards right, they can actually, you know, be quite devastating for us. But yeah, fortunately this time around, not so much. So we're going first here, fortunately, and I'll say opening hand is not too bad. Dimensional Barrier actually isn't a good card against Labyrinth. It's more good for other decks, but obviously it's a one of an out deck, so it's not really too worried for us to be stressing about. We also have Mariner's Dive, we have Battle Ocean, we have Blue Tang, and also we have Barrier Statue. So Barrier Statue is our only like major floodgate in our deck, but it rarely gets summoned. But if it does get summoned, it actually does do a lot of damage, because as you know, in the meta right now, the best deck is actually Snake Eyes, and actually a fire deck, so it actually does shut down their combos a little bit, not too much. Obviously if they have, you know, the field spell in play and they're level 1 fire monsters, they do get a boost in attack, so they can attack into it. But normally when there's cards in play, especially against Labyrinth, they can't do much, because obviously they rely on their traps summoning from the deck or from the hand or grave. So that is a very useful card to have in some matchups. So in any case, we are going first. So let's get the duel log up. And yeah, let's start with blue tank. Of course, there's going to be a disruption with impermanence, which, I mean, obviously you either expect an Ash or Imperm, which is fine. And they trigger Lady Labyrinth already. So that already gave me the confidence, okay, that look, because they revealed to me they're playing Labyrinth, so I can play it a bit smarter now. So I know, okay, I know exactly how they're playing. So it all depends on what else is in their hand. So I need they don't have Maxi. Did they have a Veiler? I don't know. So we just have to see. And obviously we saw their Decklist had Maxi, but obviously in this matchup coming into it, I had to now think that I actually have a chance or not. Because obviously the combo sometimes can be disrupted. In this case, it was disrupted. So fortunately, I do have follow-up with Dive and Ocean. So even though blue tank is negated, I can still link off into the blue slug. And now remember, we're going to be chain blocking blue slug to prevent our trigger effects from being activated and being resolved from chain link 1. So blue tank is always going to be chain link 1. Chain link 2 will be blue slug to add back. And then hopefully we get something nice off blue tank, which unfortunately we didn't get anything. So now we have to use the field spell. And again, no Ash, so we go for Mandarin. And we're going to go with Sea Angel. Now, you're probably thinking, why didn't I go for Basilima? Now, Basilima obviously would have been a good option here, but now I wanted to make sure I have maximum advantage, especially for the follow-up turn, because obviously with Mandarin, she can summon herself back from the grave or from the hand. So going into that play would have been better in the long run. So that's why I opted to go for Mandarin instead of Basilima. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, you should have actually put Basilima in the graveyard because that will actually be better for you. Well, at the moment, we are going first. If we're going second, then obviously blue tank would have been the first priority, same Basilima. So that we know whatever happens, our monsters are protected from battle. So we know after that, it doesn't matter. Like you saw in the last duel. That's pretty much the same thought that we're doing here. So this is going to be adding another Ocean just to add backup. And we use Mandarin's effect because we control 2 or more link monsters. We open a zone so we can summon it. And then we can go into link 2 Core Enemy. And Core Enemy is going to summon the Sea Angel. And we're going to link off into link 3, which is Core Triangle. As you can see, the Core Triangle going to be activating. Going to use the field spell to equip. Now, this is an optional choice. You don't have to equip, but I just like to do that in this case because I don't know what's going to happen in the follow-up turns. Let's discard the barrier statue so get ready for it to be summoned. And let's get a wave and let us go into the Great Bubble Reef, which is our link 4. Now, Argonaut's not really a good matchup against Labyrinth because we know they can't bounce things back. So I think Bubble Reef is a better choice. Now, I decided to set Dimensional Barrier, which is not ideal, but I just said it anyway because worst case, what's the worst that can happen? They will force to think, hey, it's a potential disruption, so let's get rid of it. So I said, okay, it's fine. Let's just set it and see what happens. Because as long as I got wave as an open slot, then I'll be fine. So I use Bubble Reef Standby Phase effect to draw a card. And I get actually a good card, which is Sleepy Maiden, which is good for follow-up. So as you can see, they set 3. So my mindset is, okay, there's definitely a welcome Labyrinth here somewhere. Because they wouldn't have actually done anything if they had known that. So I had to now think, okay, cool, they set 3. They put obviously Lady Labyrinth in attack mode, but obviously it's too big. It's not big enough to take out the Bubble Reef, so that's why it just went to attack mode and end phase. Now remember, a reminder that Lady Labyrinth is untargetable and it cannot be destroyed by card effects because there's a set card on the field. So, or on their field, that is. So that's very important to know. So definitely I couldn't target with wave or anything like that because it's untargetable anyway. So nonetheless, we draw for turn and we get Springo, which is nice. And I don't use the effect to draw. And we're gonna go. Here it is, Welcome Labyrinth. They're gonna chain, obviously the lady. Now, if I use Dimensional Barrier or Wave, still wouldn't have worked. They get the big welcome. And they're gonna summon the Lovely Labyrinth. So this is the one that you can target. And now I send Basilima because now I know for a fact, okay, whatever happens, we're gonna make sure we are secured. Now we're gonna go into Sea Angel and try and go for game. As per usual, we're going to chain block again. Now they use Demise of the Land, which basically just says when your opponent special summons a monster, you activate a field spell directly from the deck. which I won't lie, it's a bit strange that they did that, but nonetheless, it's fine. We don't get unlucky with the Wu-Tang effect. We use dive, and pretty much they realized there's nothing else they can still to stop this. We pretty much had security from Bazalima because them activating that field spell didn't actually do anything, and the fact that they only said big welcome now, they said big welcome already from Lady Labyrinth, so it didn't really do anything for us. So that is unfortunately the end of Labyrinth. Now you see they actually didn't have much plays, so I was kind of lucky in that regard. But nonetheless, I was protected from Bazalima, so I would have gone into the usual OTK combo. So you see Angel link it to an enemy gonna revive back a monster. Ideally, the barrier statue, because I would have used Sleepy Manion's effect to summon itself for free. So I'll make sure that there's no something from Labyrinth side. So again, using the deck's knowledge to your advantage. So you know Labyrinth's weakness is not be able to summon monsters, and they rely on traps. So at least that play was secured. And obviously with Bazalima in the graveyard, if they had to pop my monster for some reason, yes, I had Marincess Way, but I also had Bazalima as backup in the graveyard. So that is Marincess against Labyrinth once again. And now let's switch gears to maybe a more not a less stressful deck, but a deck that is very challenging in its own right, and actually one of the most starter decks that actually just recently came in a promotion now with the 2-year anniversary, and that's talking about Sword Soul. So let's look at that 2 games of Sword Soul, and then we'll get into the first submission from the community. I'll see you there in the Sword Soul deck. So as you can see here, this is from the Synchro Link Festival. So what you'll notice, obviously the festival is still ongoing, but you'll find the more popular deck you've seen in the festival is not a Link deck, it is a Synchro deck. And the Synchro deck we're talking about is Sword Soul, of course. And this is now with the Protos being banned and everything. This is actually one of the better decks to actually play because it's quick, it's super easy to learn, it's not that complicated. It plays through a lot of stuff, and obviously it's very versatile. However, if you know Sword Soul how it works, there's pretty much no way to not play around it, but there is a way to deal with it in such a way, because obviously if you know how the deck plays, then you can get through those disruptions quite quickly. So yeah, it's a very standard deck list, obviously minusing the Protos. Yeah, it's pretty much this a similar list you'll probably see, especially those that just started now, a new player or returning player for a while. They would have gotten the free Sword Soul structure deck, which is value for money, I think, because at least it gives you a head start in terms of getting the card that you need. So I think that yeah, it will really come a long way to actually boost you. So yeah, let us get into the matchup. All right, so we're back into more replays here. So obviously now you're starting off with Sword Soul against Marincess. So we are playing Marincess in the Synchro Link Festival, and we're obviously playing against Sword Soul. So you see my hand is a bit weird here. So what I'll do is I'll actually show you guys the deck that I'm currently using on the screen for the Synchro Link Festival. It's actually not too bad. You'll notice there's a bit of a slight change because obviously while certain cards are banned, you also can't use certain cards. So like Kashira Ogre is not in the game, it's not in the festival, so we can't use it. But Isaiah Ron, Adrian is still there. So I said, let me add in some spice just to make things a bit interesting. And of course, Dream Shark, as you know, when it comes to festivals, you're playing a water deck specifically, Dream Shark is one of the better options just because it gives versatility. And also, in a way, it's a little bit of disruption as well, because given that you are playing in Sword Soul most of the time in this festival, yeah, this actually does come in handy. So first of all, if you have no monsters or all your monsters you control are water, it's a free special summon. So that's the first thing that we did. And as you can see, our hand is pretty okay. We have Mandarin, we have Thrust, we have Dive. So we're actually doing pretty okay during turn 1. We obviously normal summon the Mandarin. And because you have no other plays, we're rather going to, you know, the Sea Angel. This is more always a conservative play. If they're disrupted, it's fine. As you can see, they're going to use a hand trap, which is a quick failure, which is okay, because you already have Dive. So we're pretty much okay. I mean, even if you didn't have Dive, we still have enough to go into a Link 2. So we're going to core an enemy. And before an enemy is going to summon the Sea Angel, and because there's an open link zone, you can use Mandarin again. So always make sure when you have Mandarin, when you have Mandarin, always make sure you have an open zone to link off to, and there must be 2 Marensis monsters at that time when you activate it. So we're gonna link it off and go into link 3 now, and link 3 is going to discard the Dream Shock, the second copy, and we're gonna get our wave, and now we're gonna have a Bubble Reef. Now because they activated a monster effect also in the turn, we're also gonna use Thrust to set an Impermanence. So we have pretty much double negate essentially. But the first one will make it unaffected, do wave, and then obviously a normal negate. Let's use the effect to draw a card, banish Dream Shock, and now we can see they're playing Sword Sword. So they start with their Shuna first, and then they're gonna link up into the mark of the Tenyi. So the Tenyi monsters are gonna be used, especially this one is gonna be used to summon. So what I did was I actually going to target that to make sure that I'm unaffected for the turn. They have Longan in their hand, they're gonna discard, and they're going to summon the Baron the Flow, which is pretty much the best level 10 you can get for Sword Sword at the moment, even though it's not a worm monster. And now here's the cool thing, right? So Long Young normally activates to resolve an effect, right, to burn damage, but then Dream Shock says while it's in the graveyard, right, so when a card or effect that will inflict damage to you while this card's in the grave, except in the damage step, you can special summon this card, and if you do, you can lose 1,000 defense, and therefore the damage becomes 0. So this is a pretty much it protects you from Long Young essentially. So I don't know why. Now you would think, why would he negate that with Brandon? I would probably not negate that because it has to be an actual threat to my board. If that's not a threat to my board, then why should I negate that? Because in the end of the day, that's one of the waste his negates now. Because he is going second, so he wants to make sure he uses things effectively. So that's a pretty nice play there. So he targets my Impermanence. Now obviously I want to use it because there's nothing else to Imperm. I've already targeted the Vashuda, it's already negated, so as long as I'm unaffected for the turn, I'm fine. Then I'm going to use the Tenyi effect to summon from the deck. I'm going to go into a Synchro Summon, they're going to go into the Chisao, Grandmaster, and obviously I have no disruption on that, so I'll just add a Sword Sword card, which will be the Blackout. So Blackout is a very good disruption for them. Now you're probably wondering what just happened there. Baron tried to go and battle into Dream Shock, but Dream Shock has a second effect where it says the first, well, not second effect, but like the first effect says the first time this card will be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. So basically it can survive 2 battles, which is pretty nice. Right, so that's what happened there. And now they sit. So now we know one of them is Blackout, and then the other one we're not sure what it is, but we'll know basically after that once we come into it. So currently now it's turn 3, right? So you'll see I also have here Silent Sea Nettle, a very also good card for those who also want to learn Marensis. You know, it's also a good option to have because if you control a water monster, it's a free special summon. Obviously you are locked into summoning water monsters for the rest of the turn, but that's if you're playing water only, that's not a bad restriction. So the main thing here, as you can see, we have Disruption with Grandmaster Chiao or Chisao, and then we have Baron the Flow, which is also a disruption. We also have Blackout, which can be used for any worm, so Monka the Tenyi or the Chisao, to pop 2 cards you control. So my priority is I want to clear all the negates, and then I can try and clear his board. That's my priority now, because I know for a fact, okay, it would be difficult now to just play normally, because I know he has disruption. He has at least 3 disruptions, so I want to make sure that he gets through, you know, once we get through all the disruptions, then we can do our normal plays. So we're going to obviously try and bait out the negate. He does use the first one on the Bubble Reef to draw a card. So the Shisha is going to negate that, so we know that's negated, that Bubble Reef, that's fine. So it's just a continuous effect, so unfortunately it just happens, so we can't really stop it. So now we're going to try and bait out the Baron the Fleur. So now we're going to control water monsters, Sea Nettle, normal summon into, oh actually not normal summon, we're going to special summon rather. Special summon the Seahorse, because you can special summon to a zone a Marensis Link monster points to. So we didn't normal summon, we special summon. Then because we had seen it on the field, we had 2. So they thought, okay, no, let's use the opportunity now to use the blackout. So the blackout tributed the chi shout, uses the effect already to negate. So we're going to destroy it, and then destroy 2 cards you control. So that's what you use the blackout. Now we're going to use the dive to revive back. But the problem is they made a mistake there, because with Baron de Fleur, there's a big difference between Baron de Fleur and maybe a monster like Ash, right? So for example, Baron de Fleur says when a card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So it destroys the card and the activation, but not the effect, right? So negate the activation versus negate the effect are 2 different things. So for example, Aqua Argonaut, right? I'll just show it on the screen now. So Aqua Argonaut, as you can see, when a spell or trap is activated on opponent's turn, you can obviously special summon a Marincess monster card it's equipped to, and if you do, negate the activated effect. So negating the effect means if they have a second copy or a third copy, they can't activate another one. Now, Baron de Fleur, if you negate the activation with Baron de Fleur and you have a second copy, you can activate it again, right? And because of that, the Marincess dive says activate one of the following effects, and if you do, you cannot special after it resolves, you cannot special summon except water monsters. So although the activation was negated, the fact that you activated Marincess dive means you cannot summon anything else but water monsters already. So you're gonna go immediately into World Sea Dragon Zelantis, which is going to board wipe the field. So remember, because of that detail, you notice only World Sea Dragon Zelantis coming back. There's no Baron de Fleur, there's no Mark Tenny, because although he negated the activation, Marincess dive said that as long as you activated it, obviously it didn't resolve fully, but the fact that you activated it means that, hey, you actually are not allowed to summon water monster for the turn, but the fact that you activated that turn, it means you can actually have the restriction, which is quite interesting. I thought that it would actually now work the other way around, but the fact that it actually, after you activated it, and even though Baron de Fleur negated it, it actually just negated you summoning the monster from the grave or summoning from the deck. But the fact that you activated the spell card, you're still under the lock, which is interesting. So that's what happened here. So I obviously go into battle, and obviously I go into the end phase. They obviously have the Ashuna. They will try and go for, the follow-up to try and get back into the game. They have the Monk of the Tenyi, and obviously now Vashuna is going to activate now in the graveyard to banish target opponent controls, return it to the hand. Then the same with the Adhara. Add back the Long Young, which is a bit weird because there's no worm monster. And obviously Ashuna is going to summon from the deck, and that's pretty much it. And I thought, okay, very interesting choice there, because Long Young obviously needs a card to discard to summon itself and the token, but now they didn't realize that. So I mean, it is what it is, so I can't really complain. So yeah, let's just go on. And as you can see now, I'm pretty much in the driving seat because now I have Link 3 in the graveyard. I can revive 2 Marincess Link monsters that equal Link 3. And I think he knew, look, I'm not gonna play through this. I'm going for game. I'm pretty much sorted. And yeah, that is Sword Soul in the Link Festival. So you think that's bad? Because obviously Sword Soul is a very good deck, but obviously you need to make sure you understand how the deck works. And obviously if you work with your hand that you're given, you obviously can be luckier. So very interesting interactions there. I do have another game of Sword Soul before we go into the community submission. So let's get into that Sword Soul duel now, but this time now in ranked play. All right, so this is the standard ranked play decklist for Sword Soul. And as you can see, there's actually some noticeable differences here. So first of all, there's no Protos. Protos is pretty much a floodgate, which basically locks you out of attributes. So for us specifically, it's a huge floodgate because obviously Sword Soul summons tuner tokens, which are water. So if they are able to get a water monster or water token on the field, then that actually is good. Actually good for them, but bad for us because we are basically locking ourselves into summoning water, which is pretty much our entire deck. So that usually is an issue. They also have anti-spell fragrance, which I understand. I mean, most people are playing spells. Almost every deck runs spells. Sorry, except for maybe Labyrinth, I think. But yeah, very interesting choice there. Also playing the Gamma package. So 2 Gamma, 1 Driver. So probably doesn't want to deal with a lot of disruption. So obviously it's a free level 8. So I can understand why. But other than that, it's a pretty standard list. Heart Desire is also good. Just triggered the effect of Chain Yang. They're playing 2 of that. So that's a bit interesting. Also playing Mathmech Final Sigma, which is the one that's unaffected while it's in the monster zone. So that's an interesting choice. And they're playing Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. That's also questionable. But yeah, otherwise, not the most standard list, but it definitely is still a versatile deck. So yeah, let's see how we face against this Sword Soul player. Is there a slight difference or is there not? Let's see. Let's find out now. All right. So as you can see, currently our hand is not too bad, but it's okay, you know. And obviously we're going second in this matchup. So in the other Sword Soul duel, we ran first. This time around, we're going second. And our hand is actually okay going second because we have Dark Ruin no more. We do have Pressure Planet Raidsoth, which actually adds a Castillo monster from deck to hand. Also gives our monsters a bit of a field boost because for every attribute on the field, we get 100 attack and defense, including ourselves. That's also nice. And other than that, that's the only 2 use it for. We don't use it for the third effect where Shangri-Ira is activated because we don't have any Castillo monster other than Castillo Ogre. So it's also good Ash Bait as well. So that's another reason why we play it. And of course, even if Max going second, you love to see it. And of course, Mandarin and Spring Girl, you can definitely deal with that. So let's see what our opponent does turn 1. They start with the Incredible Ecclesia, free special summon. Well, not special summon, the normal summon it, and they summon the Warrior monster from the deck, which is the Moye. Moye summon the token, go into the Chi-Shao. Chi-Shao is going to chain 1. To protect it, they'll chain block with the Moye. Moye is going to draw a card, and it's pretty much standard, right? Let me just put the dual log up, apologies. Add the Long Young, use the Long Young, discard the Tire, and we're going to summon, of course, the usual culprits, Baron de Fleur. Again, arguably the best level 10 in the game, next to Chang Yang. Going to get some damage, and we're going to end our turn. So, you can see here currently, this is like one of the standard boards for Sword Soul. It's pretty much the same combo turn 1. Chi-Chao, Baron de Fleur, which means it's at least 2 disruptions. They could also have Blackout, which I didn't know. So my first point of call was, okay, should I use Dark Ruler? Because if I want to go for game, I have to make sure that, you know, there's no disruption, of course. But then again, they could have Blackout, and Blackout does not need Dark Ruler no more. So, because Dark Ruler no more just negates the monsters, but they can still activate spells and traps, which can interact with my field. So let's see what we draw for turn. Oh, perfect. We draw Blue Tang. So Blue Tang adds a bit more layers to our playthrough. So normally I would have started with Spring Girl if I didn't have anything, but now because we have Blue Tang, at least it can give us Basilima, which I said before. If you can get Basilima in the graveyard, that will at least give you some protection. Because nowadays, Snake Eyes, Sword Soul, they pumping cards in the field. And you want to make sure you have that extra layer of protection before anything happens. So that's always a good thing to go with. So let's use Dark Ruin no more, because I established that, okay, you know what? Let's get rid of Dark Ruin no more. Let's use Dark Ruin no more. Let's use Evenly Matched. Let's try and see what we can do. So let's try and see how far we can go. So Evenly Matched we're going to use. We'll clear the board, and now we can go for our play. So let's first start with the Raidsoth. Add the Castillo Ogre. Castillo Ogre is going to be played, and they have Max Seed. So again, my thought was, okay, they have 1 card in their hand, 1 card in the field. They are relying on Max C now to go through. So this is now the power of Castillo Ogre, not just on the field, but also now giving you the knowledge of, hey, if I had to allow them to special summon, these are the 5 cards that will happen, right? So let us continue what the 5 cards are going to be, and just to tell you what's going to be. So as you can see there, those 5 cards in order, if I carried on with my combo, they would have gotten all those 5 cards. They would have played through a lot of disruption, because as you can see, they have Incredible Ecclesia, which can special summon herself if we control a monster. They also have Adhara, they have Vishuddha, they have Ashuna, they have Blackout. They have so much disruption for the follow-up turn, and they have so much setup, whereas we won't have much setup. So of course the priority would be, let us actually get rid of the Ashuna, because Ashuna was going to be the first thing they'll draw next turn. So I'm just going to add my trap, normal summon the Blue Tang, send the Basilima, and end my turn, because I know the main thing is they're going to draw the Blackout, which is fine. I don't know what's in their hand, so I said the minimum thing to do, because I know through Maxi these are the 5 cards they would have drawn, it doesn't make sense for me to give them the advantage. So I already have kind of advantage already on the field here. So Blue Tang, send Basilima, Kashira Ogre, have Preparations Trap, and I'm good. So that's what I do there. And now we're going to use the Preparations to activate it. And they see, they realize that, oh, my Maxi actually didn't work, because they thought, oh no, I'm not going to summon. But sometimes Maxi can be used to the player's disadvantage, because as you can see, because I have Kashira Ogre, I now knew what they were going to draw. So that's a valuable tip that I'm going to give you now. You know, if you have the knowledge of the opponent, and Kashira Ogre will give you the knowledge of what they're going to draw. You take out one card, but you know the rest that they're going to draw after that. So it gives you the sense of a top deck situation. So in that moment, I knew, okay, I just normal summon Blue Tang, send Basilima, then I know I'm protected. And now I draw up a turn, I draw a barrier statue, I make it even worse for them. I normal summon the barrier statue. So now my combo is free. They can't summon dark, they can't summon light, they can only summon water monsters only. So my combo is going to be free. And yeah, it's pretty much free reign to do whatever I need to do. And you can see I get a Mandarin, a second copy, which is fine. And I get my field spell. And now my combo is live, essentially. So I use the 2 monsters to link up into for an enemy. And it's pretty much just the same combo that you've seen most. If you haven't seen my channel, this is pretty much what I do all the time. Once I have opportunity and you just go for game, that's what you do. So as you can see, Soso had no plays. I don't know what their face on was. I still don't know what their face on was. I wish I knew what it was, but yeah, it didn't really matter at this point, because you can see the OTK line, it's very so standard. It's actually not that difficult to master. Of course, it does require you a bit of experience to know when is the right time to do it, when is the right time not to do it. So here we go for Zelantis. We're gonna link up the field. But before we do that, actually no, we don't. We actually don't link off. So because at this point I had more than enough damage, and the only thing threatening was Emperor, which I still wonder. The whole time they didn't activate it. You know, maybe they thought, okay, no, it didn't really matter because I did have follow-up anyway. But actually, I think I know why they didn't activate Emperor. It's because of the Preparations Trap. So the Preparations Trap says if your opponent activates a trap card or effect while you request a monster, and this card's already in the spell and trap zone, you can look at your opponent's hand, and if you do, banish it face down. So probably that's why they didn't activate the impermanence, because the moment they activated it, they were going to negate something, but Preparations still says, if you have a Kashira monster on the field, look at your opponent's hand, banish it face down. And banishing face down means you cannot interact with that card at all. So it's not like Frondo Rees where, okay, it will come back or whatever. No, it's face down, you can't get it back. So that is what happened here. And I knew, okay, cool, there's no monsters, no real threat. So no need to rearrange the field. If I have max damage, which is 9,400, it's fine. So, and yeah, that's pretty much what happened here. So again, very useful interaction here, because they actually did not activate the imperm because they knew that I was gonna look at their hand and then get rid of the key card for follow-up or whatever. So at this point, it didn't really matter also because I was gonna set up a board that had enough follow-up and everything. So that was pretty much game from there. And yeah. So those are the 3 games that I want to show you. 2 Labyrinth, two Sword Soul, 1 Labyrinth, and now we're gonna have a bonus duel from one of our submissions that were from the viewer. And yeah, let's get on to that duel right now. So this is our final duel for today. And you can see we have a submission from Democedes, if that's how you say it, Democedes. I thank you for allowing me to review your replay. This is the first replay from the community on the channel, so I do appreciate that. And by the way, he does have a YouTube channel, so I will leave it in the description as well. And I would consider subscribing to him because I think you'll be interested to see what content he has on this channel, and I think it's quite good. So what is the tip for this this replay specifically? Well, he had a description saying it's about obviously not going to the full Maurice's combo and sometimes playing a bit differently. Well, let's see. I can already see he's got Thrust, he's got the True Sun Guard, he's got Hawkeye, he's got the big Spear of Doom, which is the Winddragon of Ra Spear mode, which already is devastating. In fact, he's going second, already implies, hey, you know, it's going to be a crazy duel, but let's see what happens. Let's get the duel log up and let's see what happens. So what is he playing against today? He's playing against Mannadium. Oh, Tillaments. Tillamant Mannadium. Okay, cool. So Mannadium and Tillaments. Well, it's all part of the same storyline, basically. It's the Beast of Starfrost lore, basically. So they're going to go pretty much full combo here. Because unfortunately, there's no hand traps here. So what's the end goal of Tia Mannadium? Well, let's skip through this. Gonna obviously Kekalos is gonna add the Tillamant Castura. Fearless is gonna be summoned. The Triskria is gonna activate to summon the Lingo level 2 again. Synchro. Jesus Amatara is gonna summon. Add a spell of trap. Add the Tillamant's Field spell. Lightheart. Perfect. Another field spell again that mentions Visa Starfrost. So it's just a continuous loop of Visa Starfrost names, summoning Tillamant names, just sending cards to the grave. This was when Tillamant was tier 0. This is exactly what they were doing, minus the Mannadium stuff, of course. But yeah, it reminds of the good old days when you were playing tier. Let me know in the comments if you remember the tier format. That was probably the most devastating format ever. I think for most people, because the duels were so long, and the fact that Tillamant could play on your turn was just like crazy. So as you can see, look how much plays they are doing, setting up so much. And this is now post tier when they've nerfed so many cards. And yeah, this is pretty much the end board now of Mannadium tiers. And you can see from all of that, this is the end board that they've established. So they've got Pelarino, which is a disruption in itself, because if a Tillamant monster shuffled into the graveyard from the deck or extra deck, you can destroy a card in the field. You have Sprite Elf protecting both the Cladderheart and the Baron de Fleur from being targeted. I'm going to get Baron de Fleur and Cladderheart, which is also a disruption, because if a Aqua monster is sent from the to the graveyard by a card effect, and you can target a card of opponent control, spin it to the deck. We know from public knowledge they also have a what else do they have? I think they also set the Meta Noise, and I think something else, but pretty much it's disruption, right? I think it's the Heartbeat, Meta Noise and Heartbeat, if I'm not mistaken. So I think Heartbeat's here. Is it here? No, I think it's Heartbeat and Meta Noise. So Meta Noise is a Book of Moon effect, flip face down, send an Aqua monster to the grave, and then Heartbeat is negate a monster, which is interesting. So this did turn 1, which is pretty good. So how will this Decklist face? Well, at this stage, I only see True Sun God, so I assume they're playing Winddragon of Ra. But yeah, let's see. So we draw for turn, and we drew the Guardian Slime. They're gonna obviously activate the True Sun God. And Baron's going to negate, which is a bit too early, I think. They should have at least done... Ooh, yeah. We knew that was going to happen. The Spear of Doom. Thrust into Duster. Nice. Duster's going to destroy all of those cards. Yeah, look at that. Look at that disruption. Sulliek and Meta Noise. It wasn't hard to beat. They're going to use Pull by the Grave to banish the cashier that they were targeting in the grave. Nice. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. So yeah, they pretty much just cleared the board like that. So, and they just go into end phase. Because like I said, their hand wasn't the greatest, but hey, they got rid of 3 monsters. So, Mana Heart is going to send the Sharon. Sharon is going to fuse with the Hardness in the hand. And we're going to go into a Thick Callus again. Now remember, Killerman can only fuse twice a turn. Because remember, Merly is banned. So they can maximum 2 summons. For fusion, that is. Ooh, nice. Nice. So they use Pull by the Grave to negate the Hardness. Which, by the way, Hardness is limited to 1. So you get rid of the Hardness, which means they can only fuse once now. So this whole dude, they can only fuse once a turn. Then summon the Glider Heart. And they go into battle. So, it's not lethal damage quite yet. Here we go. Guardian Slam's going to protect itself. Onto the field. Callus and Reinhardt can go into the Donner for hire, which is targeting itself and destroying a card we control. Nice. Okay. Gonna add the Ancient Chant. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, finally. You're playing a Marincess deck. Okay, so Marincess with a bit of Wind Dragon of Ra. That's interesting. So, I assume the play will be going Marincess line, hopefully going to some sort of OTK. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Wind Dragon of Ra, the alternative art. Okay, so blue tank sends Spring Girl. Gonna go into blue Slug. So probably gonna go for Zelantis, I think. That's what they want to do. Okay. Okay, so the training order is a bit slightly different, but nonetheless, that's fine. Okay, Basilima. Oh, perfect. Okay. Nice little art card to add. Sprinkle's going to banish, obviously, the blue tank. Going to go into Sea Angel. This is a perfect chain block. So it's a pretty much standard Marincess combo, looks like. Yes, it is. Standard Marincess combo. Oh, okay. Get the dive. Wow, interesting. So this is pretty much a standard, prismatic for an enemy. Wow, I wish I had that. Oh, tribute to Guardian Slime. Go for Egyptian God Slime. Oh, nice. Use the Pascalis to summon into the Basilima. Go into Zelantis straight away. Whoa. Okay. So, by the way, they are waterlocked because of foreign enemy's effect. So that is already live there. Use the effect to banish. Wow. Okay. Use the Ancient Chant to summon again the Winged Dragon of Ra. Oh, wow. Beautiful animation. And is that lethal? I think that is lethal right there. Well done. Ooh. Nice. With the animation. Now, I'll tell you what, that was a very nice duel. Not just for, obviously, the animation of the court, but the fact that he went Marincess combo, but also interacted with the Wind Dragon of Ra aspect, which is pretty unique, I would say. That, you see, is a very good example of not playing the standard way and finding ways to make other things work. And I think he did a great job there. So I like that replay a lot. You see, he played through those disruptions very well. He timed the Call by the Graves correctly. I'll give that duel a solid 9 out of 10. Just because the animation made it even 10 times better. But yeah, obviously there's no duel that's perfect. I don't think there's a perfect 10 out of 10 duel where he played perfectly or whatever, but definitely a solid 9 out of 10. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you would give it a higher rating or a lower rating, let me know. But yeah, Democedes, thank you so much for the submission. Like I said, he has a YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description, and yeah, definitely check out his channel. I'll try and get your deck list as well. I'll also try and link in the description as well, because I believe you also reach master rank for February 2024. So congratulations to you as well. And yeah, I'll leave his deck list in the description as well as his channel. And yeah, definitely subscribe to him if you want to see more Marincess Wing Dragon of Raw plays. And yeah, if you want to have some in-depth analysis from his point of view, I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, I think that's all for the submissions. As you can see, nice interactive gameplay, nice and detailed. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more videos like this. And remember to submit more submissions. The more submissions you submit, the more chance you get to be in a video like this. So this is the first viewer. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And yeah, this is Diamond Boss signing out. And stay tuned for the next video. Cheers, everybody.